Hi everyone, my name is Penny with Wacko Witch Astrology, and today we are here to talk about the meaning of the letter P and how it affects the names and the words that it is used in. Now, P is the 16th letter of the alphabet. 1 plus 6 reduces down to 7, so it is about learning, it's about knowledge. Some of the words we have here that start with the letter P are prudent, practical, practice, picky, plan, punctuation, penance, punch, penalty, purge. All right, and some names that we have that start with the letter P are Penny, Priscilla, Persephone, Patricia, Patrick, Philip. We have those PH things that don't sound like the regular P, but they still have the letter P at the beginning. Paul and Peter. Now, what's really interesting about the letter P is that it's very top heavy. So it's stuck in the realm of learning spiritual lessons and trying to get our heads wrapped around them. So these words like penance is a spiritual concept, but it is specifically a spiritual concept that is meant to teach us a lesson. Penalty is a very similar word. It's meant to teach us a lesson. It's meant to tell us, hey, you did something wrong. And then we have these very rigid but practical words like prudent and picky and punctuation and practice, showing the dedication of the letter P. But the letter P, as concerned with knowledge and learning as it is, can get tunnel visioned into things and struggle to see them from a broader perspective. They want to learn and they want to be able to teach, and they want to see, what that ultimately means for us, how that allows us to grow as people, how that can help an entire community. People who have names that start with the letter P, a lot of times they like to teach things, but more so than that, they like to learn. And they do believe in rules and regulations and stuff like that. They're usually, pretty big on following that kind of thing and trying to stay in line with the standards built by society. And that's part of the reason why their scope of thought is kind of limited. Even though they're so interested in learning, they can get this kind of rigid tunnel vision type of thing going on. And then a lot of times they end up lacking balance because of that. They want to do everything by the book. They want to be able to follow instructions on things and how they were taught that things were supposed to be. And because of that, sometimes that can kind of come and bite them in the butt sometimes. And as smart as they are, they might seem just totally oblivious about certain things. They just didn't realize that something was even an option for them because it's not by the book. It's not by the way that they were taught to do things. And sometimes when they see other people breaking those boundaries and barriers, they can get kind of envious, and they're like, well, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I think to do it? And it's more so that we get mad at ourselves for it because we're like, oh my gosh, I was so smart. I spent all this time reading. I didn't think of that though. No one taught me that. So this is a letter that's very concerned with spirituality and learning, and then sometimes almost ironically, as practical as we try to be with our accumulation of knowledge, we get our heads end up kind of stuck in the clouds and the learning and the theories and ideas of how things are supposed to be, and then how they actually work out in reality. We have kind of this disconnect here, and then we have trouble. A lot of times we can collect all this knowledge, and that's why we make for such excellent teachers, but the letter P has trouble bringing the knowledge into the physical world and into physical relevance. And a lot of these words and these concepts that start with the letter P, they have a certain degree of irony to them. Like when you plan for something, how much planning can you really do? There's so many forces that we can't control, but planning is an attempt to control the chaos of life. Practice is something that we should obviously be doing, But is that practice really going to pay off? You know, what exactly is practice? Do we have to call it practice in order for it to be practice? Do we have to plan everything in order for us to be doing the things that we are meant to be doing in lives? You know, sometimes there's this gap of stuff that is missing. And just because we say we planned and we practiced, sometimes we miss important pieces of things. And there's something they say about working smarter and not working harder, and, you know, practicing things effectively rather than just kind of, you know, wasting your time. I hate to put it like that because practice is still valuable no matter how you practice. To practice effectively versus just to practice and make sure that you got it in your schedule. Sometimes you can benefit more from practicing less often, but practicing more effectively. And I do think sometimes people whose names start with the letter P, we focus so much on how much we enjoy learning, how much we enjoy practicing, and, you know, working at our art and building our knowledge on things, that we a lot of times don't prioritize, another P word, we don't prioritize making sure that what we're doing is actually effective, because we enjoy the process so much. P loves the process. And then a lot of times we end up, almost ironically, as I said, not being that practical because we can't bring things into physical reality where we're able to use them optimally. But that's what I have to say about the letter P. Obviously, I think it's a great letter, very intellectual, great teachers, big on spiritual knowledge and broadening the perspective, but make sure you push past those boundaries and barriers that prevent your knowledge from advancing if you have a name that starts with the letter P, like I do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm uploading these videos every Monday until I get down to the letter Z and finish the whole alphabet. I've been just going straight in order, so any letter that comes before P is already up on my channel and ready for your viewing pleasures. And the rest of the alphabet is soon to come each Monday. And go ahead and check out my content on astrology and my vlogs that I do every Sunday as well if you are interested. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.